It's time for our favorite time of year, baseball fans. Opening day is here. Today, we're going to have special guest Danny Helmer from the Northwest Arkansas Naturals.
Right.
So going to be a big deal for that, and we're going to do our complete division-by-division breakdown here on In the Dugout.
It's going to be a great show, guys. Make sure you stay tuned. We'll be right back after the intro.
And welcome to In the Dugout. Like we said, special guest today, Mr. Helmer from the Northwest Arkansas Naturals. Let's go ahead and bring him on.
Alrighty. Let me see if we can. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. It's good to have you.
Welcome to the show, Danny. First off, it's great to have you. I know you're clubhouse manager for the Northwest Arkansas Naturals. Just start off by telling us a little bit about yourself, Danny.
First off, I want to thank you guys for bringing me on the show. I'm a real big fan of In the Dugout. And anyways, just a little bit about me. I'm from Andover, Kansas. Grew up there just outside of Wichita, and was fortunate enough to go to school just down the road from you guys in Norman. Really being at OU was the time of my life, and was a great time for me, and I miss that place a lot. But anyways, baseball-wise, I got into the game when I was 14 years old in Wichita, Kansas. Before the team relocated down here to Springdale, Arkansas, which is in northwest Arkansas. Communities consist of Fayetteville, Rogers, Bentonville, and Springdale. And anyways, I attended baseball games there growing up with my parents and my brothers, and I've really just been around this team for a long time, going to games back in the early 90s when the likes of Johnny Damon and Carlos Beltran and Mike Sweeney and those guys were there. I watched them play when they were in Double-A, and just kind of fell in love with wanting to work in baseball. And 1999 was my first year working for the Wranglers. I started out as a bat boy, actually. A friend of mine had done it the summer before, and it was something I was interested in doing, and just got my foot in the door at a young age and gradually worked my way up, and here I am 14 years later getting ready to start another season.
That's definitely a fantastic deal. You know, talk to me real quick, Danny, about the support that you guys get in your Double-A affiliate, and what's it like with those communities, you know, being centered around Fayetteville. What kind of support do you guys get?
We draw real well here. Obviously, coming from Wichita, there's got to be a reason that the team relocates. And we couldn't be more thrilled with the fan support we have here in Northwest Arkansas and the facilities that the city of Springdale has accommodated us with. It's really first class, not just for Double-A baseball, but really all of minor league baseball. It's really like being in the big leagues on the farm.
Absolutely. I've been out there myself, seen those facilities. Absolutely beautiful. But Danny, let's go more into what you do, clubhouse manager out there. Walk us through a day in your life as a clubhouse manager. Just tell us a little of like what people may not see, what you do day to day, and what people maybe take for granted that a clubhouse manager does.
Well, pretty funny you asked that question, because I think everything in my job is pretty much taken for granted. You know, the work we do in the clubhouse is to be quite truthful with you, is obviously not glorified work by any means. But just to give you an idea of what we do, I'm pretty much, I mean, I really cater to all of our guys, our coaching staff, working with the front office as well. But day to day, we're responsible for quite a bit of stuff down here. If it's setting up meals with local restaurants for the guys after the game, feeding these guys before the game, a little bit of a pregame spread, as we like to call it, cleaning shoes, responsible to do all of their laundry. We gear them out, full uniforms and shirts and the whole belts and all that stuff, hats, whatever they need on that end of things. And then, there's so many things that go into the job. It really is catering to these guys. And, if it's a personal errand that they might need help with, we assist them in that. Equipment-wise, there's really a lot more that goes into it than what the general person just sees, out there on the field.
Sure. I mean, Danny, it sounds like I need to get myself a clubhouse manager.
Sounds like they get down and dirty, do the dirty work of the team.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Danny, tell us real quick, what's your favorite part of this job?
The favorite part of the job is, to be quite truthful with you, I obviously wouldn't still be doing what I'm doing for such a long time if I didn't really truly enjoy everything of the job. But if I had to single out one thing that I take from this more so than anything else, it's I'm a big sports guy, and being a part of a team is truly something special, and it's the camaraderie, to be honest with you, the relationships and the friendships you make. And, it really is. It's really like having a second family, to be quite truthful with you.
Absolutely. I'm sure you build a lot of those relationships with the players when they come through the organization in their stop to hopefully the major leagues, obviously. Speaking of that, Danny, you get to be with this team almost every day when they are on a homestand. Tell us a few of the prospects for us to keep our eyes on for the future of not only the Royals organization, but for baseball in general.
Well, first off, I think if I'm going to single out a couple guys and individually, I think you probably got to look back a couple seasons to 2010 when we won the Texas League championship. And guys that first off have already made it to Kansas City, but then I'll tell you some guys that we'll be counting on here in Northwest this year, and also that are farther on down the farm. But first off, I mean, if you're looking for a future superstar, if people don't know who he is now, I'm pretty sure in late September or October it's gonna be a household name, and in my opinion, he's the next big star in baseball, and that's Eric Hosmer. And
absolutely tearing it up right now in spring training.
Yeah, he is something really, really special. And the thing about that is he's surrounded by so many other talented young players. If it's a Mike Moustakas or Salvador Perez, Kelvin Herrera, Greg Holland, Aaron Crow, Johnny Giavotella, and that's not even throwing in the likes of Billy Butler and Alex Gordon, who are just coming into the primes of their career as well.
Right.
And players that are going to be here in Double-A this year that I would say, if you're a Royals fan or baseball fan, to keep an eye on. First off would be a third-round pick of the Kansas City Royals in 2009, converted outfielder Will Myers. And he's really, we expect big things out of him this season. Also, a part of that 2009 draft class is a left-handed pitcher from Clemson. He was a fourth-round pick, Chris Dwyer. Look for him to have a really, really good season. And then also a couple names that are more familiar in the last year or so. First-round pick at Kansas City in 2010, Christian Colon. He's a shortstop. And then the big part of that Zach Greinke trade in the winter of 2010, first-round pick of the Milwaukee Brewers in 2008, supplemental first-rounder, Jake Odorizzi. He's really, really got a bright future.
Fantastic.
And then, to throw out a couple names of guys that that could have breakout seasons this year, left-handed pitcher, Cuban defector, Noel Arguelles, and also Will Myers and Cologne are on that list as position players. And then a couple guys of breakout potential that are actually already in the major leagues, and in my opinion will be household names by the end of the season. Reliever, with Joaquin Soria going down, someone's going to have to fill the void at the back end of the bullpen, and they got Aaron Crow and Jonathan Broxton there, but I think by the time it's all said and done, Greg Holland will be the man there, and look for Alcides Escobar to be a premier shortstop in this league for a long time to come.
That's fantastic. Sounds like the Royals are going to be in good shape in the
Absolutely. Danny, you talk about all those players down in AA for you guys down there with the Naturals, and you mentioned that you guys won the Texas League back in 2010. I know last year was a little bit disappointing, losing in the playoffs. Where do you see the Naturals finishing this year, Danny?
Well, this will be our fourth year, this will be our fifth season in Northwest Arkansas, and we've made the playoffs every year since we've been here. So
building
to set
tradition.
the bar any lower than that would, we expect to be there, and we expect to win it. So we didn't make the championship last year, but the prior two seasons we were in the championship, and anytime you're in there, you got a chance.
Right, absolutely. Lastly, Danny, we're going to ask you this question. Today is our opening day special, obviously. We're doing a division-by-division breakdown. If you could, Danny, any predictions you have for the Major League Baseball season this year?
Well, first off, I think it's fair to ask you guys what you think is going to transpire here over the next 5-6 months. And then I want to hear what your predictions are to see who you think is going to win the World Series.
Absolutely. If I'm going to have to go off and say it right now, I'm going to take the Detroit Tigers to win it all this year.
You called me crazy when I took that back when we did really early predictions. I picked the Detroit Tigers over the Philadelphia Phillies. So I guess we're now in agreement on the Detroit Tigers.
I just think that offensively and with their rotation, I think they're going to be in good shape.
Well, I guess I'm going to have to disagree with you guys on that because last time I checked, we were both in the AL Central. So, Detroit's good on paper. There's no getting around that, and signing Prince and all the guys they had there. It's obviously going to be a challenge, but I truly do believe that Kansas City, when it's all said and done, will be sitting atop the AL Central. It's our time. That's a
pretty bold prediction.
A bold prediction.
Bobby over here has been hyping the Royals up a lot lately, and from what it sounds like, I'd look forward to definitely the future of what this organization's going to bring to the Central. It's definitely nice to have some parity back in baseball.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's obviously going to be a fun few years here in Kansas City, and the future is really bright. And to be quite truthful with you, if you want to see a team that was built the right way and was built from within, I got to look at another sport, but it's right in you guys' backyard. The Royals are modeling the Oklahoma City Thunder here a little bit, and They've got young talent, and they're building from within. It's drafting your own guys and keeping those guys around, and it gives you a real strong foundation to be successful for a long time.
A lot of people really undermine the importance of the farm system, and Danny, that's why we thank you very much for what you do with Northwest Arkansas, and we were very, very, very happy to have you on today.
Well, hey, guys, I appreciate you guys bringing me on, and I hope maybe we can do this again later on in the summer.
Absolutely.
And revisit our picks here.
Absolutely. We'll call you. We'll bring you on again sometime later in the season, maybe around the All-Star break, see how our predictions are holding up. And maybe towards the end of the year, and hopefully the Northwest Arkansas Naturals are in the playoffs, and we can bring you on sometime around then.
I think we're definitely going to have to make a trip out there, too.
Absolutely.
That would be good. I might be able to give you guys a tour around this place. So,
that'd be absolutely fantastic.
And, hey, if you guys want to hold off on interviewing me again until the end of the year when we're popping the corks of champagne bottles in Kansas City, I'm fine with that one as well.
Danny, thank you very much. The Helmer family, always so big in sports. It just seems like you guys are everywhere. So, Danny, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you guys very much. And, I truly am blessed to have a wonderful family, my parents and my beautiful wife, Morgan, and Maddox, and my two brothers. I couldn't be more thankful for all of them, and if it wasn't for my wife, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing today.
Absolutely.
So, thank you guys very much, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right, Danny,
Absolutely.
we'll see you around.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, folks, when we come back, that was Danny Helmer with the Northwest Arkansas Naturals. When we come back, we're going to go into our division-by-division breakdown. You guys
Absolutely.
are watching In the Dugout.
It's going to get heated, folks.
It's no coincidence the Toyota Tundra has received the most dependable large pickup award from J.D. Power and Associates. Not once, not twice, but 6 years in a row. Now that's a statement no other truck can make. The full-size Tundra from Toyota.
Welcome back to In the Dugout. Today is opening day. Last night we had some baseball action with a National League kicking off with the Marlins and the St. Louis Cardinals starting off.
Funny thing, a one-game series. You don't see that too much.
Not too much right now. The Red Sox and are playing the Tigers in the top of the second. There's two heavyweights right there.
Right, absolutely.
Tied 0-0. Top of the second, runner on third. So the Sox got an opportunity to put a run on the board, and at the bottom
We
of
know
the
who
first,
you're rooting for.
Atlanta and the Mets going on. Later on in the afternoon after the show, and you guys will definitely probably see it by the time the show gets posted, Philly takes on Pittsburgh. The Pirates, a lot of excitement going on after their spring training camp. Washington takes on Chicago at 2:20. Toronto and Cleveland at 3:05. Miami and Cincinnati at 4, and the Dodgers and San Diego tonight at 7:05.
I'm looking to that Dodgers San Diego matchup. That should be a good one.
I want to give a quick shout out real quick to Corey Lubke. He was a member of that Sunbelt Classic team that had Eric Fryer on that same team. Team Ohio just signed a big deal with the San Diego Padres and just signed.
Sounds like
a
Team Ohio was pretty loaded.
They were loaded that year, and they didn't even they finished third in the tournament. So they were that just shows you how good
the tournament is.
It really
Absolutely.
is. So congratulations to Mr. Lubke, as well as Matt Engel from that team who just signed with the Dodgers and made their 40-man roster, and both have multiple-year deals. Exciting for them to be playing against each other tonight, so congratulations. We're very proud of you guys.
Quick, before we start here, I don't know if you guys heard. Did you guys hear the new name for Bricktown Ballpark?
No, what is it?
Newcastle Field. And the logo actually has
Bricktown.
Newcastle Casino on the logo.
Newcastle Field at Bricktown.
Right. It's
that goes to show you what has happened to minor league affiliates, especially in the Oklahoma City market. I posted an article from Baseball America the other day. I don't know if you guys got a chance to see it, but there needs to be something done to revamp the AAA system to get people back into the ballparks and continue to draw well. I'm frustrated with the way the Red Hawks have gone with the not being able to fill the stadium, having to place advertisements in the upper deck. It's a beautiful ballpark, and to me it just seems like it's gone to waste in recent because of the
ownership
appeal.
group
The ownership group has completely taken away the appeal in minor league baseball with the state of Oklahoma.
Yeah, it hasn't. The new ownership group, ever since the move to the Astros, hasn't exactly been great in terms of keeping the interest up. They're almost driving it into the ground.
Absolutely. All right, DJ. It's time for our opening day special. What do we got starting us off?
We are going to start off in the West Coast. We're going to talk about the AL West. A lot of new faces in the AL West this year. Yoenis Cepedas, he's one of them. Of course, Albert Pujols, C.J. Wilson, and some old faces that have been transfixed with the AL West. Ichiro, how's he going to do this year? What are your views on the order of the AL West this year?
Bobby, go ahead and take this one first.
I think it's pretty clear. There's two favorites for this team or for this division, and I think it's pretty clear cut. I think that, I think the Angels win it. I think the Texas Rangers are a little bit behind them, and I'll go into more detail why. And I think the rest of the division is a pretty close or pretty far behind the rest of those two teams. I think you just look at that division, the A's and the Mariners. I'm sorry, they're just not going to be able to hang with the Angels and the Rangers. I mean, the Angels last year finished one game behind the Rangers without Albert Pujols. Now you add Albert Pujols and C.J. Wilson to that rotation. Or to that team. The Angels might win the division by 3 games.
I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take the Rangers. I'm not going to have the Mariners finishing at the bottom of the division, and I think the biggest reason being David Ackley. I think
You mean Dustin Ackley?
Dustin Ackley. He's going to be a big impact player for the Mariners later on in the year, and I think he's going to be able to get some runs up.
Right, I picked the A's at the bottom of the division.
And so
as well.
I picked the A's at the bottom of the division. I'm going to pick them to go 58 and 104.
Whew.
Yeah, it's going to be.
You're going numbers.
It's going to be a pretty. It's going to be a pretty down year for the A's.
I think the Angels win 100 games this year.
I'm going to take the Rangers to go 162, and I'm going to take the Angels to go 98 and 64 or 98 and 62 on the year. So
finish.
Or no, 98 and 64. 64.
Two games behind the
Two games behind the Rangers.
This is not a math show, by the way.
This is not. So you have the Rangers on top, Angels
Interesting.
and the wild card, and then the Mariners in third and the A's in fourth. But you can't forget about the addition of the Houston Astros.
I think that goes into effect next season, I was told.
Next season? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So then the Astros still in the Central.
It'll definitely help the AL next year when they get to beat up on the Astros a few more times a year. Will definitely help boost some records.
All right, DJ. What division's next?
We are going to head a little bit east, and we're going to discuss the AL Central now. Of course, Prince Fielder, he's the newest member of the AL Central. What are your thoughts on the AL Central?
We just went into a little bit, talked about this a little bit with Danny. He gave us his thoughts. He thinks the Royals will win the division. We are a little bit more... we both have chosen the Tigers. I think the Tigers will probably win... I'll take... Oh, God, it's tough to pick a number. I think they'll win 103 games is where I'm going to take them. That's quite a few games, I know.
That's a pretty tall order.
But they're a really good team.
Absolutely.
They got the best pitcher in baseball, the second best hitter in baseball. They got Miguel Cabrera as well, who arguably was the MVP last year in the AL. I mean... You just look at their lineup. They have one of the best lineups in baseball.
Absolutely.
I mean, their rotation is solid. They got Verlander, and their second, third, and fourth guys aren't bad.
Under Jim Leland, that's definitely this is a team
and
built
Jim
to
Leland
win.
is their manager.
This is definitely a team built to win. I'm gonna take the Tigers.
And I'll take the Royals second.
Okay. I'm gonna take the Tigers. Just under.
100 wins?
Just under 100 wins. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take, with the way the Indians are off to an abysmal start with already having a suspension and injury, it just continues to plague that clubhouse. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to move. I'm going to move the Royals up to second, and I will agree with you there.
Okay.
I'm going to have the Twins in third, the Indians in fourth, and the White Sox finishing
The
dead
White
last.
Sox in the cellar.
In the cellar.
I'm going to take the Indians third.
Okay.
It's going to be a distant third, though. I think the Royals will be quite a bit better than the Indians and everyone else. I think the Royals and Tigers are going to be pretty much the class of the division this year. I think the White Sox will finish fourth, and I'm going to take the Twins in the cellar. They've always overachieved, and they're finally starting to come back down a little bit more to earth.
I just
and
don't.
the talent just isn't there in Minnesota anymore.
Ron Gardenhire, he's a great coach, though. I really like
He
him.
is a great
absolutely.
manager, but I
Absolutely.
mean, you can only do so much with that talent. I mean,
Just depends on how Morneau and Maurer, it depends on how
right, and
if
then
they're
who else do they
healthy.
have? Though is the question, and that is another
But
question.
that's two big franchise players that they have, and they've been proven winners in the past. So I don't know about the Twins entirely. I'm gonna have them third in the division. I don't know if it's gonna be necessarily a distant third because the Royals are projected to finish right around 500 at 81 and 81.
I think they'll
Them
finish a little bit better than that.
finishing
they
above-
were pretty close to 500 last year.
Absolutely, I think finishing 500 this year would be achieving.
It's a disappointment, I think.
I don't think so. I think finishing over 500 would be overachieving for them. I think that'd be a pretty great goal for them, and to finish second in that division is going to be fantastic, no matter how they do it.
Well, the division is, let's be honest, pretty weak.
It is a weak division.
I mean, let's be honest. The AL West and AL Central are both have are very top heavy. The Rangers and the Angels in the West. And then you got the Tigers and
but
maybe the Royals in the Central.
Keep in mind, the AL West is the smallest division in baseball.
That's true.
So they're going to be top heavy, obviously. I mean, just because of those two powerhouses. So it's just kind of interesting. The race will be very, very tight in the West between the Rangers and Angels.
I agree.
The lack of teams in there makes up for the competition though between those two ball clubs.
Yeah.
Yep.
What do we got next, DJ?
Up next, we have the AL East, where the big dogs play. There's a lot of faces everybody knows. And what are your thoughts on the AL East?
Before we go into this, DJ, I want to get your picks on the divisions real quick.
Yeah, we forgot to get you in here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Come on, jump in here, buddy.
On the AL West, I'm going to go with Anaheim. I think they have the best lineup in baseball. I like Mark Trumbo. He's got huge power. Albert Pujols, of course. I like Howie Kendrick.
Torrey Hunter.
He's getting up there in age, but I like him. Not to mention Kendrys Morales, who's coming back from the ankle injury that he had 2 years ago. He didn't play at all last year. So I like their lineup. Their pitching staff is really, really stacked. Euron Santana, C.J. Wilson, Jeff Weaver. Those are key names for them. In the AL Central, I like Detroit, like you guys do. My sleeper in the AL Central would be the Cleveland Indians. I think they have the right parts to be competitive this year. I like Justin Masterson. He's a solid pitcher. Ubaldo, if he's able to pitch this year.
he also has to get acclimated to the AL if he does come back.
Yeah,
he's been pitching in the NL, and let's be honest, the NL in terms of lineups is a lot weaker than the AL.
Yeah, and Ubaldo struggles with his consistency sometimes. He tends to walk people a lot. But I like what they have going on there. In the AL East, where we're at right now, it's a tough one. It's a toss-up. It could be Tampa Bay, Boston, New York. But
all three of those teams are so good.
They're all really good.
I love Tampa Bay's young pitching staff. They got Jeremy Hellickson, Matt Moore. I think he's going to be a stud. But I like Boston. I think they have all the parts together. I love Bobby Valentine. I think he will maximize the talent on that team and be able to handle all the egos that Boston has up there.
Okay, that's a fair pick. I think I'm going to, though, however, stick with my pick from earlier in the year. I'm going to take the Yankees. And I know you're probably going to kill me.
No, that's fine.
You're probably going to hate me for it, Trevor.
Nobody's perfect, but...
I mean, you just look at the lineup. It's really good. Obviously, the question is, can they get their starting rotation figured out? They always seem to somehow win games, even with a really poor pitching staff year to year of late anyway. And that's just because their lineup is so good. I mean, they probably have arguably the second best lineup in baseball. Definitely top 5 lineup in baseball. I'll take the Red Sox second in the division, but I'm going to take that with a grain of salt, and I think the Rays will be right there. I think it could finish it'll be either the Rays or the Red Sox clearly, and that'll be an interesting race to see who gets that wild card spot between those two. Although with the added wild card, maybe they both still make the playoffs.
I agree. Even earlier in the year, I had the Yankees in my playoff picture. I'm actually going to throw them out. And,
Interesting.
And here's why. I think, and I'm not even taking Boston to win the division. I'm going to go ahead and take Tampa Bay to win the division. I agree with DJ on how
the rotation is really good.
The rotation is there.
David Price.
The offense will be there. But I'm going to go with the Red Sox to finish second. And I am going to have the Red Sox heading to the ALCS. I'm not going to have them in the World Series. Like I said, I did have them. That was my prediction earlier, to have the Red Sox in the World Series. I'm not going to have them coming out of the American League this year. I think
who beats them in the ALCS then?
The Angels.
Okay.
My prediction is I'm going to have an all LA World Series.
Interesting.
The Angels
you
and the
just
Dodgers.
Completely flip-flop from that interview. Because you took DJ, correct me if I'm wrong here.
I didn't pick
I believe you took Detroit to the World Series when we were talking with Danny.
Oh, sure. Okay. You're right. Okay, I'm going to have a Detroit. You're right. Detroit and Dodgers. But I could see the Angels slipping in there. And so
I agree.
I think the Tigers should be the clear-cut favorite.
Yeah.
That just goes to show you how tough the American League this year is, and you're absolutely right. I did have the Tigers, and so I'm gonna go ahead and stick with that, and I'm gonna say that the Angels are gonna slip in there.
It was also interesting that you picked the Rangers to win the division, though. So you're going to say the Angels are going to come out of the wild card and go to the ALCS,
which is really not out of the realm of possibility.
No, it's not absolutely not.
I see Texas getting off to a very hot start, and I see LA having to acclimate and come up from behind.
Put the pieces all together.
I think they're going to be very hot by the end of the year.
Yeah, I think they're going to be when it's all said and done. They're the better team.
That's how I see it happening. The Yankees, though, or before the Red Sox, I think this is the year that Kevin Youkilis is fully healthy. I think that Dustin Pedroia is fully healthy. I think adding Bard to the starting rotation is going to be a good key for the Sox. I think Lester, who was lackluster to say the least in spring training, but I mean the guy he's getting the start today. I think Beckett will have a decent year this year.
If he stays healthy.
Beckett had a great year last year.
If he can stay healthy,
if Beckett stays
he's
healthy,
a great pitcher.
A lot of this contends on if the Red Sox stay healthy. And
how they acclimate to manager
Bobby Valentine. I see the Red Sox staying. I see the Red Sox staying healthy more than I see the Yankees staying healthy. I see something maybe happening to Rodriguez. I don't see Rodriguez having a great year. So I mean that's just going to be it.
Another interesting question is how quickly do the Red Sox give up and start drinking in the clubhouse?
Okay, hold on. That's
a sensitive subject right there.
That's a punch in the face.
But we have to go to break real quick. What are the chances that 3 teams from the AL East make the playoffs?
I'll give it about a 56% chance.
56,
I'm going to say more than that because it's the toughest division in baseball, so you can see all of them.
All right, stay with us next on In the Dugout. We're going to talk about the National League, where they play real baseball, might I add.
Okay,
Up here next on In the Dugout.
Welcome back to In the Dugout here. Bobby Rose with Trevor Rogers. I got a bone to pick with you, DJ. Playing real baseball in the NL. Is that a knock on the DH?
We don't play gorilla ball in the
Is that
National League.
yeah?
We don't-
all they do is
Gorilla
bunt the ball and win 1-0.
I agree with DJ. I prefer National League baseball.
I don't at all.
There's more strategy. There's more coaching. Coaches have to be on point all the time.
The DH is much better for baseball. It keeps your pitchers from getting hurt
I love small ball and
a little bit.
I love those key little precision pieces, but I do love the excitement of the American League waiting for the big hit.
I prefer to watch 4 to 5 games as opposed to 1-0 games, because I mean I do enjoy a pitcher's duel, but if it's just a 1-0 game with just bad offense, then that's a completely different story.
Sure. I don't know. I love defensive battles. I love watching the double play after double play in each end. That's one of the coolest. That's one of the most exciting things, is watching things get turned like that. So,
Alrighty. Well,
after that off topic, let's.
We're fine. We are going to discuss the NL West. A lot of storylines going on in LA right now. What are the chances that Matt Kemp can duplicate the year he had, as well as Andre Ethier? He had an off year last year. What are your feelings on how the NL West will shape up this year?
Do you remember? I think I took the Giants.
You did take the Giants.
I took the Giants.
And I took the Diamondbacks, so I'm going to change that.
Yeah, I'm probably going to change it.
Yeah.
This projections we're looking at here say the Dodgers are going to finish 4th in the division. I don't think that's going to happen. I'm going to change what I picked, and I actually think that the Dodgers will finish 1st in the division.
Okay. Yeah.
I think they're going to win the division. They got all the talent to do it. Their only problem last year really was, as you mentioned, DJ, Ethier had a little bit of an off year. And the whole ownership situation maybe played a part in that, but now the ownership situation is all figured out. Stan Kasten and the Magic Johnson group look like they're going to be a great ownership group in terms of putting a winning team on the field
and
for the Dodgers.
That is the key name in this puzzle, Stan Kasten.
Right,
yeah,
and because he's the majority owner,
Yeah.
He's going to be the big player in this, and I think that he just wants to win. And I think that he's going to put a winning team on the field. It may not happen. I'm going to pick them to win the division. I think it's going to be a tough division. I think the West is, in terms of competition, all the teams are pretty well equal. Mm-hmm. Except for maybe the Padres, unfortunately.
See, here's the thing: the
Padres
are
have
the
a lot
most
of potential.
They're the most interesting team in the National League to me, and they have been for the last 6 years. The Padres will get hot at some points and play, and then they'll
mind-blowingly bad,
and they'll play mind-blowing. Like I remember when they led the division 2 years ago,
absolutely,
and wound up choking. When I went to the Dodgers Padres game in San Diego, it was electric. That's one of the prettiest ballparks I've ever been to. The atmosphere was fantastic. Padres fans were excited, and the Padres won and had taken a 4-game lead in the division. And then after that, they took on the Marlins, and I went to that Marlins the next night, and the slide started from the end of August through September.
Yeah, it was
Padres
bad.
went, and so that happened. That's happened to the Padres multiple times, and so I don't understand why they can't complete a season.
It doesn't make much sense. Especially when they had Adrian Gonzalez.
When they had Gonzalez, they had a good pitching staff.
Right.
Yeah.
It's their offense.
They can't put up any runs.
Right. They can't put up any runs at all, and that's why I think they're probably finished last in the division.
It's
unfortunately.
sad. I kind of pull for the Padres. Just because I want that team to succeed so bad for some reason, because I think the pieces are there. I think they're very, very close. They just can't seem to do it.
I'll tell you what it's going to take for San Diego to be a contender again. They need to hire Tony Gwynn. They hired
Absolutely.
Tony Gwynn. They hired Tony Gwynn. He can get that organization where it needs to be.
Absolutely.
Until they do that, they're going to continue to struggle.
Well, they had his son, and they traded him to the Dodgers. They traded Tony Gwynn Jr.
to an Interdivision rival, yeah, absolutely.
To the Dodgers. I'm going to agree with Bobby over here. I got the Dodgers winning the division.
I think the Giants finished second. I'm going to
have the Diamondbacks finishing second.
We took our prospective picks and just maybe moved them down a spot.
Moved them down.
Yeah, which is fine.
I think that's going to be one of the most fun races in baseball.
I think the NL West is going to be a great race to watch.
Don't forget about Colorado.
That's a team that always
it gets hot and they get really hot and really cold
last year if they didn't start off as bad as they did, they would have been I think they would have made a fantastic run into the playoffs because of where they were after the All-Star break. They came out guns a-blazing.
Oh yeah. We can't talk about the Rockies without talking about Jamie Moyer. 49-year-old starter for the Rockies. What do you think his season's going to be like this year?
His career's been in a steady decline. I mean, he's 49 years old.
When you get your AARP card in the mail, it's time to
hang it up.
I tell you what, Troy Tulowitzki is the big guy to watch. What do you think about him mouthing off the other day and getting beamed?
All I know is Ubaldo Jimenez is not a guy that I'd want to mouth off to.
I find it funny that the pitcher charged the plate. How often do you see that?
You don't see it very often.
And then he claims he didn't mean to hit the guy.
It was the reverse Jim Traber right there.
That was a reverse Jim Traber.
Yeah.
We need to get that on here sometime. If you guys haven't checked that out, just type in Jim Traber into Google or into YouTube. It's set to the Benny Hill song. Oh my God, it's hilarious.
It's funny. Yeah, it's funny.
Let's move on before we
get ourselves in trouble here.
Okay, we're going to move on to the NL Central. Should be a pretty competitive division this year. Last year, the Milwaukee Brewers were the NL Central champions. They will be facing some opposition this year from Cincinnati, I believe. What are you guys' thoughts?
Okay, you take this one first, Trevor.
I'm gonna go off, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take Cincinnati to win the division. But I tell you, I'm gonna make it a very interesting race, and I think it's gonna be a very tight race between everyone except the Astros. I
think that's a fair assessment.
I think the Central is going to actually be kind of banged up by the rest of the league, but
it's not a very good division.
Where they are in division. I think each team is going to be separated by no more than a game or two.
The game is just not the division. Let's face it, it's not a very good division. So they get to beat up on each other all year long.
I'm gonna take the Pirates to be a surprise finish in second. I think they're gonna have an opportunity to lead the division at times, like they did last year, because Andrew McCutchen
is really good
with the pickup of Bedard from Baltimore. If he stays healthy, he's gonna be a good pickup. If Burnett can get his ERA below 4.
Well, he seems to always pitch well through when he's not in New York.
Well, sure, and he's good for 6 innings. The guy is good for 6 innings, and so I think I have more faith in the setup in Pittsburgh than I did in New York. I think Pittsburgh's closing staff with Mariano Rivera, obviously they're fantastic, but their setup staff, I don't think it's anywhere. I really think with how young their setup staff, with Daniel McCutchen being their setup guy right now out of the bullpen, I think Pittsburgh's going to be in good shape to score some runs. So I'm going to take Pittsburgh to finish second. I'm going to take the Brewers to finish third, the defending world champions to finish fourth. And the Cubs, I think the Cubs are going to be up and down through the division all year, because I think, as much as it pains me to say it,
they got to let that goat in the stadium.
They can, God, what's his name? I cannot think of his name right. Theo Epstein.
Theo,
I think Theo's going to have them going in the right direction eventually. I don't know if they have necessarily the talent this year. I think they'll make some trades. They got to make trades before the deadline to be able to compete this year. And I think they're going to be in an interesting club. They're going to be up and down all over that division. And then the Stros are going to be they're going to finish under 54 games this year. So
54.
under 54. I'm going to take them to go under 54.
Under 54.
So
you heard it here. You heard it here first, folks.
Yeah.
That's going to be tough for them to be that bad.
yeah.
It is. I'm going to pick the Astros to finish ahead of the Cubs.
Really?
I really don't like what's going on in Chicago right now. I
Okay.
think it's a complete rebuilding year in Chicago.
Okay.
It's going to be that much of a rebuilding year in Chicago?
I think so. I think actually the Astros are a step ahead of what Chicago will be this year.
Somewhere Harry Carey is
Rolling
he is rolling in his grave.
That's pretty much every time about this year, though. Anyway, we're going to move on to...
Oh, wait. Let me give my prediction.
Hold the phone.
Excuse me, Bobby.
Not
Go ahead.
so fast.
Hold the phone. Okay. Sorry, TJ. First, I'm gonna take the Brewers to win the division in the Central. I think they're probably the safe pick. They've got all the talent. They've got a really good lineup. A solid pitching staff, not a great one. A lot of times their pitching staff is pretty inconsistent. Then I'm gonna take. I'm gonna take the Reds to finish second. Pittsburgh third.
Okay.
And you know,
Yeah,
it's like
I understand. It's
and
like
the
I
Cardinals
said, mine was
fourth.
a bold
prediction.
It's a bold
I think the
prediction.
Cardinals will finish fourth. I mean, they just lost like a lot of talent in the offseason, losing Albert Pujols.
Uh-huh.
Obviously, I know that
they
lost
losing their manager.
right.
La Russa
Losing
is bigger
LaRussa
than
is
losing
a big.
Pujols.
That's what I was just about to say
Yeah.
too. To have to replace a manager with somebody who's never been a manager before.
Sure,
and then
absolutely.
You just got to figure out how you can get your offense and everything figured out under a new manager with an entirely, not a new lineup, but a retrofitted lineup, essentially. Then I'll take the Cubs. I don't think they're going to be as bad as the Astros. I've watched the Astros play. They're really bad.
They are bad. They are.
I don't think they're under 54 games bad.
Okay,
I think they're about 61 wins.
that's fair. Okay.
I'll take 61 wins. Still 100 losses.
Okay. All right. Now let's move on. We got to wrap this up pretty quickly.
We got to get to our two critically acclaimed segments.
But
some
we have
point.
to talk about the NL East still.
I know. That's why we're doing.
We have to spend a lot of time on the NL East. You know that, right?
Of course not.
Anyway, what are your predictions for the NL East? My Braves, don't forget about them. Where do you have them finishing?
I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take this one first. I'm going to have the Braves to win the division. And a lot of people are going to take the Phillies. I don't see it happening. Yeah, they have the best pitching staff in baseball. Good. That's fantastic. That goes without saying. But what about offensively and defensively? They have to fill infield roles. They
I know, they get a lot
Ryan
of
Howard
injuries.
is on the decline. Chase Utley
Is hurt.
Is Jimmy Rollins going to be there? Is he going to be the guy all year?
He's shown that he can do it in the past.
Yeah,
he's getting up there in age. Also.
He's
That's
getting
true.
up there in
That's
age.
very true.
I don't know if it's not that I don't think I think the Phillies, if they were fully healthy and younger, I think they'd be the clear cut winner to win the World Series this year. But where they are hurt, I think I don't see it I see their pitching staff carrying them, and it's not going to knock them out of the division entirely. But they've got to score runs, and you've got to account for fielding errors.
Their defense has always been solid in the past, but obviously those injuries,
losing their big guys.
But Jimmy Rollins, is going to be a stable player over there at second base. It'd be interesting to see who fills Utley's role until he gets back and how well he does defensively.
Sure, and I think
Utley's defense is probably the one they're going to miss the most.
Absolutely,
because Howard was never a great defensive first baseman.
No.
Hall of Famer Jim Thome replacing.
See there you go.
Howard. So
okay.
That should
So
be
Thome, you should be fine defensively. Thome's a decent defensive first baseman.
old, but
Old,
really,
but,
really old.
going to disagree with you. I'm going to take the Phillies to win the division, specifically because their pitching staff is so good. They're not going to have to score a lot of runs to win games. I see them winning a lot of 2-1, 3-2 type of games, like a lot of those, because their pitching staff is so good. But I think it's going to be a very, very tight race between them and the Braves. And I see the Braves finishing second.
I think the Braves are really, really good this
They are
year,
really,
so
really good.
I think they're going to play without the chip on their shoulder. I'm going to take the
Nationals to finish third.
I'm going to take the Nationals to finish third as
I
well.
like the Nats.
I do too.
They got a bunch of young talent. We'll see what Strasburg can do this year if he can stay healthy.
I think they're going to have a. I think
Bryce Howard
would
probably be up there.
Record.
Bryce Howard will probably be up there by the end of the season.
Sure, it's a shame
Gonzalez.
that it's a shame.
Gio Gonzalez.
I know they got a lot of young talent up there in Washington.
I think the Nationals are 2 years away from making a playoff run.
I agree.
I think they're 2 years away from making a playoff run.
I agree.
And
what about Florida? Or excuse me, Miami?
No, Miami. I'm gonna have them fourth, and I'm gonna have the Mets dead last.
See, I'm gonna put the Mets ahead of the Marlins.
Really? With
they didn't show
Reyes and
they didn't show us too much last night.
Okay,
one game. They got 161 more to play.
I know. It's going to be tough. It'll be a tough race for the bottom between the Mets and the Marlins.
DJ, what do you got?
I want to pick Atlanta, but I think we have way too many questions on our starting rotation. Tim Hudson, he's not getting back for a month. It's a matter of Tommy Hanson and Jair Jurgen staying healthy, I believe.
Sure.
Right.
But with that being said, I'm going to take Philly. I think they know how to win. They got players on their team that know how to win. Cliff Lee, Cole Hamels,
Placido Polanco,
Roy Halladay. So I'm going to take them. And when Utley gets back, that's not going to do anything but help them as well as Howard. But I'm going to take them to win the division. I love Miami. I think Miami has all the talent in the world. Maybe not so much in the
Tim Kirchin,
but can they
from ESPN
deal with the egos?
Picked Miami actually.
I really like what's going on in Miami. Anibal Sanchez, nobody talks about him. He's a decent starter.
He is.
I think Josh Johnson is a top 5 pitcher in the league when he's healthy. If he pitches 200 innings this year, they can be dangerous.
What did you think of that ballpark?
I was in awe of it until I saw the monument in left field. And then it made me want to turn the channel.
How many seats did they fill in that game? I was at work. I didn't get a chance to really watch it.
It seemed pretty full.
It holds 37,000 max capacity.
Oh, see, that's probably smart that they made it that small because Miami never sells seats. I remember watching games last year where I thought there was 5 people in the stands total.
Here's the thing: Stan Meek, who's a scout for the Miami Marlins, lives here in Norman. He has told me that one of the biggest problems that they have in Miami actually was rainouts, and the staff did a terrible job of letting people know when rescheduling was going to be, and so with the dome aspect, Miami may be able to draw better. And
it's going to be tough when the Heat are playing at the same time like they were last night.
Sure, yeah. But you know what? Give it up. I give it up. I thought it was a pretty stadium, except I didn't like the green I didn't like the lime green in the
I don't like the Miami thing. I think they need to go back to Florida.
Anyway,
we're
going to take a quick break on In the Dugout. That was all of our division breakdown, and then when we come back, we'll have some more stuff coming your way. Stay tuned.
I'm Roy Williams.
I'm Charles Howell.
I'm Mark Clayton.
I'm Tommy Harris.
Curtis Lofton.
Gerald McCoy.
I'm Chris Chamberlain.
What's your fate?
What's your fate?
In life, you have choices, decisions. Then after your decisions, you have consequences.
You have to step up and choose to be different. What do you want to do? What do you want to be?
What is your fate?
What's your fate?
What's your fate? What's your fate?
What's your fate?
Welcome back to In the Dugout here. Bobby Rose joined by Trevor Rogers. We're just going to do a quick Charge in the Mound segment today before our final thoughts. DJ, are you ready?
I am ready.
Okay, Trevor, you lead us off.
All right, DJ, if you had to spend 4th of July at any ballpark, where would you want to watch the fireworks?
That is a really, really tough question.
Good one as well.
I've been to Comiskey Park for the 4th of July special. It was nice. Wow.
Everyone forgets about New Comiskey. That's a pretty ballpark.
It's a nice ballpark.
It is a nice ballpark.
But I'd have to say good old Yankee Stadium.
Okay. Yeah, that would actually be awesome because you got the whole ordeal. Yeah.
The Statue of Liberty and all that stuff.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I'd love to be in Yankee Stadium.
Sure.
Okay, I'll give you a 9 on that.
A 9 and a wink.
I do like the New York Yankees answer, but there's one answer I would like better. The home of July 4th, Philadelphia.
You're right. Good point. Great
Okay,
point. But
okay.
I'm a Braves fan. I can't go into Philly.
Right.
I would actually, I still want to go to the Nationals' new ballpark.
I would too.
And so I think it'd be really
I've
cool.
been there. Did they just build them a new park?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
the one they had wasn't.
No, it was an old football stadium.
There's no wrong answer. It's 4th of July.
It's 4th of July, so I'd love to spend I'd love to spend it in the nation's capital. I think that'd be really fun. That'd be really unique. So, Bobby, it's up to you.
Oh, I gave him an 8 or 9. No, I gave him a 9. What'd you give him?
I'm gonna give him a 9. Okay. That's really there's no.
I think
wrong
any
answer.
of the 3 we discussed would be a great place to spend it. Philadelphia, where the Declaration of Independence was drafted.
As long as you didn't pick a dome.
Yeah.
You probably got the question right.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Wouldn't want to be in the Astrodome. That's for sure.
Okay. My question, who are your National League and American League MVPs?
Wow.
Predictions for this coming season.
Okay. I'm going to go in the National League. I'm going to go with Hanley Ramirez.
Interesting.
He has all the talent in the world. It's just
you are on the Marlins.
I'm telling you, I like what they have going on. If he gets his mind right, I think he could be a triple crown.
There's your
candidate.
question.
I really
can he get his mind right, especially with Ozzie Guillen as his new manager?
If anybody can
That's
going to
be like
right,
oil and water combination right there.
I think Ozzie Guillen can have a positive effect on him. I really do.
Positive and Ozzie usually don't go in the same sentence.
That's another good point. But for the AL, I want to say Albert Pujols, but that's way too obvious. I'm going to go with a little sleeper. Let's see. Who? Miguel Cabrera.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Miguel Cabrera.
Okay.
Interesting.
That's not much of a sleeper, but
I'm gonna go with Jacoby Ellsbury in the American League.
Of course.
He got robbed. I really think he got robbed
I agree
last
with
year.
you.
He put up
won.
phenomenal numbers.
He did play really well
all year.
Mm-hmm.
So I can see. I think he could duplicate it this year. I think Ellsbury. That was proof that he really is. He's starting to peak into his career because the guy's still young.
He is.
He's a very young talent for the Red Sox.
He's
so.
a legitimate 5-tool player. Can do everything on the field that he wants.
Absolutely.
He's a phenomenal center fielder.
Absolutely. So
one of maybe the best in baseball.
Yeah.
Right now.
I'm gonna give you an 8 on that.
Well, who was
answer.
your NL pick?
Oh, my NL pick, Matt Kemp.
Okay.
Matt
Yeah.
Kemp.
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
I'm going to give you... I can't give you anything lower than an 8 because, I mean, Miguel Cabrera is a pretty good pick.
It's a safe pick.
It is.
Safe.
I'm going myself with an even safer pick in Albert Pujols just because he's the best player in baseball, regardless of, your opinion of him. I mean,
I don't dislike Albert.
Well, no,
Pujols.
I'm more talking about myself.
Okay. I don't know. It's really hard to gauge. How do you gauge the best player in baseball?
That's true.
And so
he's definitely the best first baseman in baseball.
Looking for the complete package. God, I don't know.
And my NL, I'm agreeing with you. I'm going to take Matt Kemp as well. He should have won it last year.
He should have.
He should have. Yeah, absolutely.
And he has a chance on a good Dodgers team.
Ryan Braun.
What are your thoughts on him this year? Where do you see him?
I don't think
that was going to be my next question for you. Actually, that was going to be my next question for DJ. I'm going to turn the table.
Okay.
DJ, how do you think the offseason scandal will affect the Ryan Braun this season?
I think it's going to motivate him. I'm not sure he'll be able to duplicate the numbers that he put up
He
last
had a
year.
really good year last year, that's for sure.
I mean, if somebody was attacking your integrity, that would motivate you, right? So I think he's going into this season with a little more incentive to do well. I could see him hitting 30 home runs, just a shade under 100 RBIs, maybe 30 stolen bases. But it's not going to be the same without Prince Fielder protect him in that lineup.
That's very true.
Sure.
So
I'm going to give you a 7 on this one, and here's why. When you said attack your integrity, I take that with a grain of salt because with the way this has gone down, I believe with Ryan Braun there is a lack of integrity.
okay.
So the guy got off on a technicality. I don't know what he did. There's so much speculation and debate, but it just seems like he cheated. It seems like he really did. And so,
well, the only thing I can say, he did get off on a technicality, and he attacked the tester's integrity. But the only thing I could say really is I don't think he used a questionable substance, no doubt. Nothing that's technically considered illegal, obviously. It probably will be now. But yeah, I think that's probably about it. What do we have coming next week, Trevor?
Next week, we're going to try to get on a guy, Chris Collins. He's a Boston insider. He's a writer in Boston for BostonInsider.com. Very insightful into the Boston Red Sox. Got a chance to speak with him over spring training. He said he'd like to come on the show, so I'm going to try to make sure that happens. Next week, we'll go back to a little more college baseball.
A little bit, maybe a little high school as well.
A little high school, and then we'll touch up on what happened in the first week of professional baseball.
Right,
So
absolutely.
exciting things are happening. We're finally full swing baseball season, college, high school, everything's going on, and we got the playoff races for high school baseball are underway. So I can't wait. We've got exciting things coming your way, folks.
Happy opening day, folks.
Enjoy
Have a
day.
great
Yep.
day.
Baseball is here. Let's go Braves.
Hashtag everyone check us out. Follow us on Twitter, Trevor R Z Preps and at Bobby Rose Z Preps. Hashtag ITD. You guys have been watching in the dugout.
Have a great day, everyone.
All right.
What did we hit? It was probably over an hour, wasn't it?